Well, yeah, like for the OGs, you know, like for Kano, for Ashley, for Scorch, like all those guys, like it's like, you know, to see them be able to continue this is an incredible feeling for me. And for the next wave, you know, like for Sims, Dave, I just think it's something that can assist. I mean, obviously Dave is on the moon already, but you know, but these are the type of things that really get to put on display how talented people are.
I've been really inspired by like some real just gutter hood music, like just listening to like Lil Reese Savage mixtape, listen to Lil Herb, Lil Bibby, Fergie. You know, I'm proud of Ferg, ASAP Ferg. He's been killing it.
We were watching it on the iPad, the pre-telecast, and it kept cutting out. And then it just cut right back on for the moment where they're like, and best rap album goes, and they said Take Care, and I almost was like, oh, I didn't, like, it almost didn't even sound like my album. And then we just started going nuts, and we got out literally in the middle of the street, blocked cars, we all hugged. And then when I got back in the car, I realized that I had torn my suit.
Where?
So I stopped at a hotel.
So he stopped at a hotel and sewed it up.
And I told the tailor to meet me there, and she sewed up my suit.
Well, I think less than the dollar value, it's just more about the idea of growth and business mindset too. You know, 25 million at the time seemed crazy to me, but when you start becoming a headlining touring act and, you know, brands want to get involved with you and you can go do private events and whatnot, it's, you know, you're capable of making it. And yeah, like, I just, it's a shame if you don't notice the shift in energy around you. I mean, you can't be oblivious to what's going on around you. And I just like kind of woke up one day like, yo, this is my time. This is my this is my thing. I run this, you know, like nobody could really talk to me. I'm good at what I do.
My mother, I think I get the words from my mother. I mean, she was an English teacher. She taught like kindergarten to grade 5, and just one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. Scrabble champion.
Is she really?
Yeah, she's just she's a top shelf lady.
Drake's tour just vanished, not postponed, vanished. And the reason they're giving you? You won't believe it. Imagine this. You've been counting down the days, scrolling through set lists, picturing the lights, the energy. Then you get a notification, a cold clinical statement. Drake's Australian and New Zealand tour, the Anita Max Wynn Experience, has been postponed. Postponed? That's the official line anyway. A total of 4 sold-out shows, just gone. Not a gradual fade, but a sudden jarring halt. The news hit like a digital earthquake, sending shockwaves through the fan base. Social media erupted. Scheduling conflict, they said. 2 words that felt like a slap in the face to thousands who'd invested time, money, and excitement. But in a world where every detail is dissected and scrutinized, scheduling conflict simply doesn't fly. It's a vague, almost dismissive explanation that begs more questions than it answers. What kind of scheduling conflict could derail a massive, international tour at the 11th hour? Was it a last-minute clash? A secret obligation? Or was something else, something far more complicated at play? The initial confusion was palpable. Fans were left reeling, wondering if they'd ever get to experience the Anita Max Wynn spectacle. The silence that followed the announcement wasn't just a lack of music. It was a deafening void of unanswered questions, a sense that something was deeply amiss. And that unease? It was just the beginning, a scheduling conflict. Those 2 words echoed across the internet, a hollow explanation for a very real disappointment. But in the age of instant information, where every celebrity move is tracked and analyzed, scheduling conflict felt like a flimsy excuse. Fans weren't buying it. They took to social media, their voices a chorus of disbelief and frustration. Scheduling conflict? Seriously, one fan tweeted, the sentiment echoed by thousands. The official statement, meant to soothe, only ignited more suspicion. What kind of clash could possibly derail a tour of this magnitude? Was it a sudden, unforeseen commitment? Or was it a carefully crafted cover-up for something much deeper? The vagueness of the explanation was the real fuel for the fire. It felt like a deliberate attempt to keep the truth hidden, to brush aside the concerns of the very people who had made the tour a success. The fans, after all, weren't just passive observers. They were invested, passionate, and they demanded answers. And as the hours ticked by and the silence from Drake's camp stretched on, the frustration morphed into something else: suspicion. The online detectives went to work, scouring for clues, dissecting every word of the official statement and connecting the dots. They weren't just looking for a reason, they were looking for the real reason. And in their search, they stumbled upon something that would change the narrative entirely: the looming shadow of a legal battle, a court case that threatened to unravel everything. While the scheduling conflict excuse hung in the air, a darker, more compelling theory began to emerge: the UMG lawsuit. It wasn't just a rumor, it was a looming legal battle that had been simmering in the background, a potential bombshell waiting to explode. And the timing of Drake's tour cancellation? It was, to put it mildly, suspicious. Just days before the announcement, a critical update in the court proceedings had surfaced. This wasn't a coincidence, the online investigators declared. This was a smoking gun. The lawsuit, a complex web of contractual disputes and financial allegations, had been casting a long shadow over Drake's career. And now, it seemed, it was finally forcing his hand. The narrative shifted. Scheduling conflict was no longer the official story. It was a convenient smokescreen. Fans began to dissect the legal documents, searching for clues, trying to understand the intricate details of the case. Was Drake facing a critical deadline? Were there urgent court appearances he couldn't avoid? The speculation reached a fever pitch. The lawsuit, once a distant legal battle, was now front and center, the prime suspect in the tour's demise. The timing was too precise, the connection too obvious. It was as if the universe itself was conspiring to reveal the truth. The scheduling conflict excuse crumbled under the weight of the evidence, replaced by a much more compelling narrative. Drake's legal troubles were not just a side note. They were the main event, the reason behind the sudden, shocking cancellation. And as the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place, one question remained: what secrets were hidden within those court documents, and how far would Drake go to keep them buried? Beyond the legal battles and vague excuses, another intriguing narrative began to surface: Drake's reputation for generosity. At his concerts, he's been known to shower fans with gifts, cash, and even life-changing favors. But could this seemingly benevolent act be masking a deeper financial strain? The idea seemed absurd, a ludicrous suggestion that a global superstar could be facing monetary woes. Yet the whispers persisted, fueled by the sheer scale of Drake's giveaways. Try and compute the cumulative cost of those impromptu acts of kindness, the stacks of cash, the designer gifts, the unexpected favors. It's a staggering figure, one that raises legitimate questions about financial management. Was this generosity a calculated PR move, a way to cultivate a man of the people image? Or was it a genuine outpouring of goodwill, a heartfelt connection with his fans? As the financial speculation grew, one chilling thought emerged: could Drake's generosity be a facade, a carefully curated image designed to conceal a deeper financial vulnerability? Beyond the lawsuits and financial whispers, another layer of intrigue began to unfold: Drake's apparent physical and mental state. Recent appearances had sparked concern among fans, with many noting a visible weariness, a sense of exhaustion that seemed to permeate his performances. Was it simply the toll of a demanding tour schedule, or was there something more profound at play? Rumors began to circulate about alleged stomach issues, a vague ailment that fueled speculation and raised eyebrows. Some even suggested that his penchant for oversized clothing was an attempt to conceal a physical change, a hidden health struggle. The image of the energetic, charismatic performer began to fade, replaced by a portrait of a man burdened by unseen pressures. Was this fatigue a symptom of a deeper health crisis, a hidden battle that Drake was fighting in private? Or was it a reflection of the immense stress he was under, the weight of legal battles and financial anxieties taking its toll? Again, the online detectives, with their digital stethoscopes in hand, began to analyze Drake's body language, scrutinizing his every move for signs of weakness or vulnerability. The tired narrative, once a mere observation, began to take on a more sinister tone. The image of Drake, the invincible superstar, began to crack, revealing a human being struggling with unseen challenges. Was the Anita Max Wynn tour cancellation a desperate attempt to prioritize his health, a necessary pause to address underlying issues? Or was it a calculated move, a way to buy time and conceal the true extent of his struggles? The whispers grew louder, the concerns more insistent. The truth, it seemed, was far more fragile and complex than anyone could have imagined. Amidst the swirling rumors and legal battles, a stark discrepancy emerged, casting a shadow of doubt over the official narrative, the supposed sold-out status of the tour. While official statements touted packed arenas and overwhelming demand, reports began to surface indicating otherwise. Tickets, it seemed, were still available for some of the canceled dates, a glaring contradiction that fueled suspicion and raised unsettling questions. Was the sold-out claim a mere exaggeration, a marketing ploy designed to inflate the tour's success? Or was there a deeper, more troubling reason for the discrepancies? At it again, the online investigators, their digital magnifying glasses in hand, began to scrutinize ticket sales data, comparing official announcements with available listings. The results were unsettling. Was it simply a matter of unsold seats, a natural fluctuation in demand? Or was it a sign of deeper issues, a potential lack of interest that had been carefully concealed? The narrative shifted, the sold-out triumph morphing into a potential failure. The discrepancies fueled speculation about the tour's actual popularity, raising questions about Drake's drawing power and the effectiveness of his marketing strategies. Was the cancellation a preemptive move, a way to avoid the embarrassment of half-empty arenas? Or was it a calculated retreat, a way to cut losses and salvage the tour's reputation? The timing of Drake's tour cancellation, coinciding with the looming UMG lawsuit, wasn't just a coincidence either. It was a glaring red flag, a neon sign pointing towards a deeper, more calculated strategy. As the scheduling conflict excuse crumbled even further under scrutiny, a new theory emerged. Drake was deliberately trying to avoid the spotlight, to lay low while the legal storm raged around him. The court case, with its deadlines and potential for damaging revelations, was a ticking time bomb, a public spectacle waiting to unfold. Was the tour cancellation a preemptive strike, a way to minimize his public exposure and control the narrative? The online analysts, their digital calendars open, began to meticulously compare tour dates with court deadlines. The overlap was undeniable, a clear indication that Drake's legal obligations were taking precedence over his performance commitments. This seemed to be a sign of desperation, a last-ditch effort to shield himself from public scrutiny. Or was it a calculated move, a way to manipulate the media and control the flow of information? The theory of avoiding attention gained traction, fueled by Drake's history of strategic silence and carefully crafted public appearances. Was he afraid of the potential fallout from the court case, the damaging revelations that could tarnish his carefully constructed image? Could he be attempting to minimize the impact of the legal proceedings, to prevent them from overshadowing his musical career? Amidst the legal battles, financial speculations, and health concerns, one final, peculiar element added another layer of intrigue to the Anita Max Wynn tour cancellation: the persona itself. Anita Max Wynn, a character that seemed to embody a blend of flamboyance and controversy, had raised eyebrows and sparked debate from the moment it was unveiled. Was it a playful alter ego, a creative expression of Drake's artistic vision? Or was it a calculated attempt to push boundaries, to provoke and challenge the status quo? The character's reception had been mixed, with some praising its boldness and others criticizing its perceived lack of depth. Was this persona, with its inherent controversy, a contributing factor to the tour's demise? Had the negative publicity surrounding Anita Max Wynn begun to outweigh the positive, leading to a decline in ticket sales and a growing sense of unease? Was it a reflection of Drake's evolving artistic direction, a sign of his willingness to experiment and take risks? Or was it a misstep, a misguided attempt to shock and provoke that had ultimately backfired? As the dust settled and the tour's cancellation became a reality, one overarching question remained. What was the true reason behind this abrupt and unexpected turn of events? Was it the legal battles, the financial pressures, the health concerns, or the controversy surrounding Anita Max Wynn? Or was it a combination of all these factors, a perfect storm of circumstances that had ultimately led to the tour's demise? One thing was certain: the Anita Max Wynn tour cancellation was more than just a simple scheduling conflict. So what really happened? Lawsuits, money, health, persona, Or a mix of everything? Drake's silence leaves us guessing. Was it strategy or circumstance? One thing's clear. This cancellation is a mystery, a reminder that celebrity truths are often hidden, and some stories are best left untold. Let us know what you think in the comments.